Hi, my name is Boris Lunin, and today I'm going to be discussing a TED Talk by Kirby Ferguson entitled Everything is a Remix. Now, if you're a fan of Bob Dylan's, the first thing that Kirby really came out of the gate and said probably is going to offend you. What he said was he accused Bob Dylan of being a thief. Now, rather, he didn't accuse him personally. He said that there was a group of dissenters, Bob Dylan's, the peak of his career, that was saying that he was stealing songs. Now, for somebody like Bob Dylan, stealing songs is considered taboo. But if you think about it, since there's really nothing new under the sun, it's kind of hard to be very original. It's kind of hard to, to come out with artworks or with, media, whatever it is, that has not been done and has not been, at least created and, transformed and copied by somebody else. Kirby he doesn't use, a preaching tone. He doesn't try to judge. He just states the obvious. He states that all basis to creativity is transformation, copying, and a combination of a lot of different forms of media. And people that consider that stealing really are just kind of going against what the original copyright law was designed to do, was to protect artists from, you know, feeling like they're never going to get anywhere because somebody's always going to steal their content and always going to steal their works. It was encouraged that these artists, would use this copyright law for their own benefits to continue work, to continue creativity in the whole process. And Kirby kind of goes in on showing the audience that, again, everything is a remix, everything has been borrowed. And he does this by illustrating a side-by-side comparison of songs that Bob Dylan wrote to songs that were sung and performed by folk singers that came before him. Now, you could see clear comparisons. I mean, either Bob Dylan heard these songs and forgot them, and when he thought of them, he thought they were his, or clearly he was just borrowing this and making it into his own songs. I probably believe in the latter. But at the same time, I would be just as guilty because, like any other artist, we all borrow or steal, whatever you want to call it, from somebody that came before us. Now, in Kirby's presentation, he uses the novel strategy from The Punch by stating that, the copying, the transforming, and combining are the elements into building the foundation of all creativity. Because again, everything is a remix. He also makes these unexpected statements that Bob Dylan was considered a thief. When you think of Bob Dylan, the last thing you think about is him stealing song ideas. But again, just like any other artist, that's what happens. I mean, we do borrow from those that came before us. He also challenges the audience to open their minds and see that, there's nothing really original. Everything's been done at one point or another, and we're all just taking it and kind of transforming it and creating something new out of old media. Kirby takes his time explaining these facts to the audience. He doesn't rush through them. He pauses after the visual aid to kind of let that information sink in a little bit. And, his whole demeanor is just very easygoing and kind of very lax and aloof. He's dressed very casually. He's not dapped in a tie and suit. I mean, he's kind of a button-down casual shirt. He's walking around the stage. He has a microphone on his head, and so his hands are free to kind of, make gestures, and he's pretty aloof about his whole stance. He doesn't really judge, which I like very much because, that's him following the 10 Commandments, rather. He's not selling from the stage. He's not trying to convince people that, the remix is good, bad, evil, the right thing to do. He's just kind of explaining his views on the whole copyright stance. And he does this, again, without any ego. He doesn't use the fact that he's a filmmaker to, preach or to kind of, preach from the pulpit. He's very, very easygoing, which I liked a lot. He's not very comical. He's not very engaging with the audience. But the phrase that he used by Woody Guthrie, that the important things are the words, and that, if you sing fast when they sing slow, and you sing high when they sing low, you have yourself a new tune. That phrase, he basically engages the audience and gets a little bit of a laughter from them. The reason I personally chose um, this presentation by Kirby was because when I do my Ignite presentation, I want to share my experiences, and I want to basically let my audience know that in the music business, just like any other creative business, there's always going to be some borrowing, some stealing of content, and we just have to use that and use the mistakes of others and use the successes of others in our own way. We have to borrow from them and create our own path, so to speak, to get to where we're trying to go. That's my analysis of Kirby Ferguson. Everything is a Remix TED Talk. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll speak soon.